Good day. Today, I want to talk about indirect taxes. So we have a question already on indirect taxes. Question 4. So the diagram shows the market for hotel rooms on some Spanish island before the introduction of a tourism tax. The initial equilibrium price is at PE and the quantity is at QE. Then the price for the hotel room, this is the price. We have the price here. We have the price. We have the price. This is the price. And this is the quantity. So this is the equilibrium. This is the point of equilibrium. This is the equilibrium point, which is the point of agreement between quantity demanded and quantity supplied with the price. So now they said, the first question says, Spain introduced an indirect tax on tourism to help fund environmental protection. As a result, each adult guest pays an additional £2, 2 euros per night when staying in a hotel on the island of Mallorca, Menorca, and Ibiza. So the effect of this indirect tax is what? So before we go into the effect of indirect tax, so what's an indirect tax? An indirect tax is a tax on spending or on expenditure. So example of indirect tax is a value-added tax. So here there's a tax on tourism. So government is trying to protect the environment because not protecting the environment will bring about market failure. So as a result of that, government is increasing indirect taxes. So an increase in indirect tax would do what? So before we go further about the question, for this question, they said an increase in the indirect tax, which has led to customers paying additional 2 euros per night, would bring about what to the consumer surplus and will bring about what to the producer surplus. First, you have to define what consumer surplus is. Consumer surplus is the difference between the amount consumer paid and the actual price they are willing to pay. So the difference between the amount consumer paid and the actual price, the difference between the amount consumer paid and the price they are willing to pay, the difference is called consumer surplus. Then we have producer surplus, which is the total amount of revenue producers benefit from selling the quantity of goods at the market price. So the total amount producers make in producing certain goods, the total amount they make, that's the total revenue they make in producing certain goods in terms of the benefit of the quantity they sell at the market price is called the producer surplus. So the difference between the amount producers are willing to sell and the amount they actually sold the product is our producer surplus. So an increase in tax would bring about an increase in indirect tax will bring about a shift in the supply curve leftward. So I'm going to draw the graph now. An increase in indirect tax will shift the supply curve leftward. Meaning we're going to have here X tax. We're going to have our X tax here. Then we're going to have a new equilibrium. So we're going to have here, there's going to be a leftward shift from QE to Q1. Let's say from QE to Q1 as a result of an increase in tax. I'm going to have as a result of that, there's going to be an increase in the price of product from PE to P1. So we're going to have a new price at PE to P1. So these are our new quantity supplied in the market. So as a result of this, what happens to consumer surplus? Based on this situation, both consumer surplus and producer surplus would fall. Consumer surplus will fall because consumers will have to pay more than what they used to pay. Producer surplus will fall because producers will not be able to make what they used to make as a result of an indirect taxes. So the burden of tax will be shifted to both consumers and producers. So the answer is A. So the answer is A. So the answer is A. So that was about indirect taxes. Like I said earlier, indirect taxes are taxes charged on consumption or on spending. So based on these results, what you have to do as a student is, first, you define what indirect tax is, which I just explained. Indirect tax is a tax charged on expenditures. As an example of an indirect tax is a value-added tax, which can be through tourism. So an increase in the amount tourists have to pay will shift the price, will increase the price of the product, of the service, from PE to P1. As a result of that, from PE to P1. As a result of that, the quantity supplied in the market will shift leftward from S to X tax. Then the supply curve will shift leftward from S to S tax. Then the quantity supplied in the market will shift leftward from QE to Q1. Thank you. So that's the answer for that.